Good evening. I'd like to call to order the Board of Assessors meeting for this evening, Tuesday, June 30th. On the record, I'd like to be present would be our clerk, James Shabbat, member Lucas Ray, myself, the chairman, and the director of Richard Dorney, and the director of assessing, Denise Ellis. So with that, Denise, the agenda, I believe acceptance of meeting minutes for...
Yeah, so for June 2nd, they're not ready.
Yep,
because,
that's fine.
But I do have June 23rd if you want to do those.
Yep, I reviewed those.
Okay.
Jim?
Those were easy.
Yeah.
Nice and easy.
They were very easy. We could have a motion to approve those.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the minutes of June 23rd, 2026 as written.
Okay, is there a second? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Yes, I'll sign that. Okay. All right, next on the agenda would be business, under new business, okay. Now, did anyone get a chance to see Denise's email and review it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that
Do
was,
you guys want a copy of the packets?
which one? I've got this.
Yeah, yep. Do you need
Okay.
one?
So I think this kind of came about for a couple of reasons.
Yeah. Yeah.
One, our questions from our prior meeting, and then you as a new member. And so Denise, maybe you can tell that you went to your
Yep.
annual meeting.
I was at my summer conference, and I talked, the state was there doing a presentation, so I talked to the director of DLS and DOR, the lawyer, let them know what was going on. Then they had me reach out to our rep that we work with for our values all the time. And they talked to their boss, they reviewed the meeting, and this is what they sent us. All that information about how we do have to do inspections.
Which is what we need. We need to know, because whatever we do, it has to follow the law.
Right, and that's all we've ever done in this office, is follow the law.
No,
So-
but there are different ways of following the law. There's not one way to follow the law, there's always multiple ways.
Not when it comes to the assessors and inspecting properties, things like that. We have to go by, the procedures and laws that they're telling us. We can't really vary.
I understand that, but there
Yeah.
are many variations within what's required in
You
anything.
mean, well, the standards, I mean.
At least from my
there's
point of
the
view, I'm
laws.
not looking to go outside of any standards whatsoever.
Okay,
I just want to make sure that
Sure.
that's,
yeah.
you know what I mean? If there's a standard that's written,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yep.
That's,
Yeah.
So it's all in there, I think you guys
In
reviewed
regards
it.
to the certificate,
would you agree with that?
I would like to stay within the standards, but I feel like the standard in Norton hasn't been the same standard that other towns apply, especially in regards to this certificate of occupancy requirement. So, I built several homes in other towns. I've, never had an assessor have to do an interior inspection on a build in order to get the CO issued, and only in Norton, so. That was my gripe, and
So-
I agree with Jimmy's
Well, I think
motion.
With that said-
discussed that at the last meeting.
Well, let me just say
We
Well,
can't
let
do it.
Denise, she wasn't at the last meeting.
Let me
so-
just
Right.
say one thing about that. That's not true. A lot of towns do that, and it's not illegal to do that. As a matter of fact, our rep that we have, that I've been working with for 10 years, he was an assessor in another town. He did it in his town, and he recommends all of his towns to do that.
So what did I say that
Because-
was not true, Denise? That other towns don't do this? No, I didn't say every town doesn't do it, but the towns I built several.
No, you're just saying you haven't heard it before, and
Well,
that's
you
what you
just
said
said
in
it
the
wasn't
meeting.
true. It's not true. It's just not
So-
every town follows the same
I'm not gonna get an
procedure.
argument, I'm just saying there are other towns that do it.
So it's, would you say it's recommended?
It's recommended by the state for us
Okay,
to
but
do
it's
it.
not mandated.
But those
It's
two
not
statements aren't in conflict.
Right,
Some do, some don't.
right,
Right.
exactly.
Right, you guys have just said you've never heard of it, I'm just saying, it
Right.
does happen.
So-
That's all I'm saying.
So it's recommended, but it's not mandated, or don't need to follow it, and we've talked about it at our last meeting, and I believe there's some changes with the building department too on their procedures as far as how they're gonna sign off.
That's what I've heard. I don't know, did you talk to him personally?
So, yeah, that's what I've heard, but that's, again, you know, outside of the assessors, you know, we have no control over what he does with, certificate of occupancy. So, you know, I did hear that, you know, the only departments that are gonna be required to sign off is the departments that are required by law, the building department, fire department. You know, there's, you know, possibly conservation, if there's a conservation issue. Board of Health, you know, might come into play, but, you know, the assessors doesn't, you know, belong on the certificate of
Do you mind me
occupancy.
asking why you don't want me doing these? Because this is our new growth. This is how we verify that we have the right assessments on these. So for you guys to say that you
Well, wait a
don't want us to
minute,
go
wait
in
a minute,
there.
We might not be on a different page.
Okay,
Let's,
I'm just going from the last
Well,
meeting.
I
no,
just-
no, I
saw,
understand.
so-
I'll
I
just go
understand.
back,
And-
one,
and-
one comment, I just follow up what Lucas said. So, do you think, what is the reasoning behind? Is it more that he wants to get more digitally?
I can't speak for the inspector, you know, but,
Right.
I mean, it makes sense to me that the assessor's not on the requirement for the CO, and apparently it makes sense to him as an inspector.
Yeah.
You know, makes sense to Jimmy, you know, it's
Well,
just,
Well,
that part we know. We can't legally be required.
okay, but it could impact how we do our assessments and get the true valuations, a fair assessment, right?
I don't think so, to be honest.
Okay.
I think we need to like hash it
Right,
out and
yeah.
I'm malleable, I want you to know that.
No, I just find it odd like that. I've been doing it for so long. I did it in my other town as well. I've been
Right.
doing this for 15 years,
No, no, I
always going in
understand.
on them.
Yeah.
I
So,
understand.
but you kept saying that it's illegal for us to do that. It's not illegal
Well, it
for us
is-
to do that. It's not, as
It
long.
is to, if the occupancy is not issued because of lack of a signature, that's illegal.
He would know, that has never, ever been held up. If I don't sign something, they never hold that up. And I've actually, a couple weeks ago, somebody came in, I couldn't get out there. I signed off, I said, yeah, I can't get out there, so go get your CO. Like, he would, I've never had one of the building inspectors stop one because my signature wasn't on there.
Mhm.
That's never happened, that I'm aware of.
Mhm.
It's never come up to me. No one's ever came to me and said, they're not gonna give it to me unless you sign off. So, because I always explain to the builders what I'm doing, and they have no problem with it. I'm just out there to confirm all the information.
so when
That's
they
all I
built
do.
the home
There
on
are some that
Charlotte,
have gotten big problems with it.
when, actually,
There are some that have got big problems with it, but that's neither.
When I-
here nor
when
Well,
I
they're
built
not
the home on
according to me
Charlotte-
when they're talking to me,
so when I
Well,
recently
wait a
built the
second.
home on Charlotte Ave, you were required to come out and do an interior inspection on that home before we would get our CO released. And actually, the homeowner asked me to be present at that meeting, which I didn't, don't know why, but you held up that CO until we got an interior inspection. I can
I
speak
didn't
personally.
hold it up. If you said, no, you're not coming out, I would have said, okay.
You-
I didn't
you
hold up.
held
I never said I
You held up my
had to.
certificate of occupancy on 29 Charlotte Ave.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
And the homeowner actually called me and says, I can't get my CO, would you be present for the meeting?
I never talked to
So
the
How long ago
homeowner.
was that?
Last May,
I thought that was 38 Charlotte.
38 Charlotte, yeah, 29,
Yeah, right.
I built 29 Charlotte too.
Yeah,
so
38
yeah,
Charlotte?
38 Charlotte, yeah.
Nobody ever asked me about that, because I would have said, if you don't want me out there, it's his house.
Well, he didn't
I'm
feel
not
comfortable
required.
with you coming out, and you guys had already done a prior inspection while we were working, which again, that was a problem I had, because I don't feel like the assessor should be walking onto an active job site, especially unannounced, but, I see no reason, it's a,
Well, we have to
Yeah.
walk on to active job sites so that we can confirm the
We have
percentage
to-
that's complete.
You have to make an appointment first.
No, we don't have to make an appointment first. We don't have to make an appointment to go out for new construction, no, we don't. We don't
So-
have to do that.
What-
We have our list
That's a
of,
question we need to
we have
send.
so who's liable,
We need to
who's
send the town
liable if you
council.
get injured on the job site?
okay, let me ask you, what happens if the building inspector gets hurt, or one of the fire?
So the building inspector is required on CO, and the building inspector,
They're insured through the
assessor is
town
not.
though, so what
You're
you're saying
insured.
is I'm not insured, I am. I'm just like everybody else in this town, just
Maybe-
like the fire, police, DPW. I'm insured just like all those. I am required to go out to these homes. One of my staff members are, we're all insured.
Maybe-
If I get hurt, it's on the town,
Yeah, okay, so maybe let's back this up to fair assessment, right?
Correct.
Yeah, exactly.
So we talked about, I think one of your emails to us was talking about water type, the percentage.
Yep,
You know, maybe to elaborate on that. You know,
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if
Sure.
you saw that, but it.
Well, we're getting, I'm just,
No,
I'm trying to,
but
no, I'm trying to keep something straight in my head, because I had asked you to put 3 items on the agenda.
Right, well, we,
And I don't know where we're at.
well, we're,
That's okay.
we're at new
We're still under the
business.
standards, I think.
Certification of standards for inspections. So,
But that's not one of the items, so.
well, no,
The
you're
3 that I
down,
asked you didn't end up on the agenda.
yes, they are.
Where?
Board of Assessors policies, I didn't want to.
Okay.
They're on there. I
Okay,
just didn't
so
want
this,
to.
this overlaps, that's all.
It does, correct.
It's okay.
Right, I just wanted to take it in sequence, because just from the most recent meeting we had, and Denise's, she wasn't here, she was out at her seminar, so I just want to,
Not a deep criticism,
yeah,
you've really made this a lot harder by doing it this way.
well,
Because it's not compartmentalized, and we're gonna be all over the place, it's gonna
Well-
be hard to get to the bottom of anything.
okay, well,
But,
you can
We'll
interject
figure it
when
out.
you need to, and we'll figure it out. But I
So-
thought this was important, that, you know,
Okay.
from our last meeting.
can we establish one thing?
Yeah.
We cannot go into the interior of any building ever without permission.
Correct.
Okay, which means, and that's trying to,
Residential, commercial.
well, I think one of the things that's happening here is things are being said by all of us, I'll include myself.
Mhm.
Things are being said, and there's not enough specificity. We're getting misunderstood all over the place, is what I'm seeing.
Yeah,
And I
people
could be
should know.
misunderstanding you too.
Yeah.
That's, so, okay. Which means, yes, we've got to go out and look at things. However, we cannot go inside ever without an appointment and permission.
Correct. Do you
Okay.
agree?
Yeah, I don't go in unless, so if I go to a new construction, the guys are out there and I say who I am, is it okay if I go in?
They can't allow you in.
Well, they do, so.
Yeah, but they can't. They're not the owner. So you
Well, who's the
didn't-
owner?
You have to make contact with the owner of the property to get permission.
Okay, so it's very rare that I do go in, because usually I don't,
Yeah.
but,
And I'm not-
so let me just explain to you what I do, because I think you're confused around doing
wait,
it. I go
listen,
out
Just
there.
one thing.
That would fall more
I'm not,
into commercial.
I'm trying to talk about it,
in a
I guess in
process.
the abstract,
Right,
without any, I hope you've noticed, I haven't said you've done anything or not done anything. And I'm trying to make sure,
Yeah,
because I think we can have a productive conversation.
sure,
And,
definitely.
you know what I mean?
Yep.
So, I just wanted to reiterate, I'm not accusing you of anything. We're just talking about how we could do things. I hope that helps.
Yeah, no, well, I can explain to you what I do, because I don't think you guys understand what I do when I do my inspections. I think that's where the confusion lies, right? So, I think it is, because under this, whenever permits are pulled,
Mhm.
I need to go out there, or my staff member does. I do all the new construction in the big additions, that's what I do.
Mhm.
So I have to go out there, I measure the house, take pictures inside or out. If I get in with, an appointment, that's what I do,
Okay.
okay? So that's what we do.
Now, on that one, and I don't know who it was, I'm not accusing anybody, but I know on my job sites, assessors have gone in without my permission. And I need to tell you, I have been furious about it. Because I don't care if you're insured or not. I don't want anybody on one of my job sites. And actually, I'm not sure about that one.
But why though? I'm just curious, like why?
We're
Wouldn't you
doing-
want the assessment to be accurate? Wouldn't you want the person buying your house to make sure that their assessment is accurate and not
So
over-assessed?
one question I got, why
Like
would you
that's-
have to measure if you got a set of certified plans that have been approved?
Because
by
they're
the
not always correct, so I've been to houses and they've
And
changed it.
and that's an
And we can
issue
take
between the
Lloyd's
building
Circle.
department. If someone needs to make a change, the building official makes us do an amended set of plans, or we have to make an amendment to the plans. We can't just make a change on the whim without getting the plans changed, or making an amendment to the plans.
I guess to get back to it,
We don't,
and I don't want to be combative, but if somebody doesn't want us in there,
right,
it doesn't matter what their reason is.
I'm just curious as a builder, Like, I don't care about the homeowners, I'm just curious, as a builder, you're
Oh,
building a
oh,
home and you're gonna
oh,
be
oh.
selling that home.
Oh,
So
this-
why do you care if I'm in that house or not?
I don't want anybody in there. I don't want to sit.
I'm
You
curious
show up
why,
and walk
though.
around, I'm gonna throw you out.
So that's my question, I'm just curious why.
It's a workplace. We're trying to get work done. We don't want to be interfered by anybody.
The assessors
Stay
are in and
out.
out of there in 2 minutes.
They're not,
Well, I don't know what assessors you work with,
I-
I'm in and out in like 5
no, no,
minutes.
no, no.
I do
Don't
a
want them
quick
in
one.
at all.
Yeah.
I don't want salesmen in at all. We have like people show up, I'll come back to the job and there's a guy in there measuring it for insulation. Out.
I don't
You
even
don't
want the
belong there.
inspectors in there unless he's got an appointment.
Correct.
No, I understand
I've
that.
had inspectors
But-
show up on my job site
No.
and I didn't request an inspection, and I've had issues with this.
No, I-
Yeah,
But
agree.
without all this,
Right, I understand,
Contention.
I understand exactly where you're coming from, because we're in the business.
you've
but-
been there.
Right,
I'm sure you've been in, walking
Right.
around and
But-
somebody's showed up and said, you-
how often does that happen?
but that's not the issue. The
Right,
issue
no.
is permission from the property owner in advance with an appointment.
Yep,
That
I-
should be the standard.
That's
the legal standard.
I'm not gonna
No,
argue
we're
with that.
outside doing just exterior, we don't have to
Correct.
make an
Exterior,
appointment.
no.
Yeah.
Exterior.
No, I'm talking about interior.
Yeah, and that's very rare that we would go in someplace.
I-
Like,
I-
I usually, when I
agree.
go
That's-
out there, it's very rare. I mean,
And that's fine. I'm just trying to
Yeah.
establish that that needs to be the standard.
I
Oh, it
agree.
is the
Not-
standard,
Not
it
saying
is.
anything's wrong.
And that is the standard.
Okay.
I agree. I think
Yeah.
that you should have an appointment if you're going to go into the property.
Is that,
But an exterior extension, an inspection or assessment, I don't.
no, we have,
Right.
exterior, we have the right to
Right.
measure and
Right.
what have you.
Right.
But to what Lucas was saying, I guess the builders, when someone like a national company, right, on Pine Street, Bolts, they'll excavate for 40 homes or, whatever, and it's basically cookie cutter, they have 3 or 4 different designs, right?
No.
They-
Yes.
No.
Yes.
They
one
submit
particular
plans
house
for
they
each
do.
project and they follow that plan.
No, they don't. Not over there, they're
I
not.
think-
That's an issue for the
Absolutely
building
not.
department.
Yeah, I think, to be
Not-
honest with you, I think that.
And I actually
No,
mentioned that to
not
the
in this-
building inspector the other
Yes,
day.
yeah.
I did speak to him on one of my finals, and I
Right.
said, about, where you had said, Denise, where, the plans don't follow the final product. And he said, not on my watch. He says, if a builder's
Right.
gonna make changes, he needs to amend the plans. Like,
Right.
So you can't say, oh, we're not gonna finish the basement and then finish the basement and throw a, curveball at the assessor. If you say there's no finished basement, there's no finished basement. If
But
you wanna
they-
finish it, you gotta amend the plans.
Right,
Or you gotta revise, because what happens is, you gotta revise your plan so that the town can then say, okay, how much is it gonna be to finish that basement now? Oh, it's another 50,000, it's all about money, the town's gonna say, well, now you owe us another $10 per
Right.
thousand.
But also, at this point,
But-
we're basically accusing the building department of not doing their job.
No, that's
No, not
not
really.
that's not what I'm talking about.
No.
So there's a certain house over there. There's 4 or 5 different options. Like, some of these houses have different options.
Correct.
So those aren't redone. Like, we don't know what those options are until we go out there. And I've already talked to the building inspector
It's
about
on
it.
record.
No, it's
No,
not.
it's not.
Because they send over the plans, and there's 4 different plans to go with it, and we don't know which one it is until I go out there.
They can't
And
get
all
a
the ones I
building
go
permit
out
that way.
to aren't the original plan.
They can't get a building permit that way.
Well, that's what they're doing.
Not supposed to. That's on the building inspector.
That's all, it's the upgrades.
right.
It's considered the
So-
upgrades to those houses.
So again, Denise is talking about new growth, how to
Yeah.
capture new growth. And there is a vapor zone there that doesn't tie in until later. So, I think there are some, and I'm not pointing, it's not the building department's fault. It's just how business is conducted and
It's not how it's
And the
conducted,
other
Richard.
thing, so just to let you know, like,
I'm in the business. You
Just-
can't do that stuff.
but the other thing that we do, we're not the building department, we're the assessors, we're completely different. So we get the plans, we go out every spring to do them. I go through all the plans that I have, I get them all set, and then we just go out. We're not looking every day. We don't have the time to go to the building department onto the OpenGov every day and see if there's any revisions or anything,
Well, you don't have
because
to do
that's
that
a
every day. You can
process.
just do it at the end of the project.
Yeah.
And you could ask the building inspector.
But I've
if
already
any
been out
changes-
there, so that's not gonna help me
But-
at all. I mean, I've already have all
But
that
to your
information.
point, I know what you're saying, but think about it.
I've thought about it, Richard.
No,
You're just plain wrong. You
No.
cannot do it that way.
I
And it's not how the business works.
So 40 homes go up.
They go up one at a time, one permit at a time, with accurate plans for each house.
Well, but the assessments can't, because they'll do 5 or 6 homes with excavation, go in and build the foundation, right?
Yeah, they're putting up more
They
than one at a
need-
time there.
They need
Correct.
a permit for each one.
Correct.
And the permit has to have accurate plans attached to it.
Correct.
So there's no ambiguity.
None. But how does the building department capture, they can only do and deal with the present, correct? In other words, there's, let's call it 42, 46, 48 Lloyd Circle,
Right.
Okay. 42 is 3,500 square feet on a piece of paper drawing. 46 is,
Oh, stick with one.
Yeah.
Just stick with one. Say
Okay.
3,500 feet.
right,
Cannot be changed without
Correct.
amending the plans.
correct,
So on OpenGov, what shows there is what's being built there.
correct.
Okay.
To the point, to the point, the assessor's point is they're not built in sequence or at the same time. 40, no, but,
It doesn't matter.
So what
but
they
when
do over
she's
there,
assessing the property as is at the date of
the
when it
inspection.
happens.
So
Now,
let's
what's your
say,
point?
so that one particular house that we can go with, right? There's, like I said, there's probably like 4 different plans. They send everything over together, and then I have to go figure out which one they're doing. And I've already, like I said before, I already talked to the building inspector about it. And I don't know, I can't tell you what the building department does, that's a totally different
I'd be glad to look
thing.
into it, but that can't happen.
That doesn't sound right.
Well, it does.
And I spoke to the building department about this exact issue, and he specifically told me that that's not the way it's operating. I read your email and I talked to
Yeah.
him last week. when he did my
I
phone.
don't want to comment without actually
Right.
researching it. I
I
don't
mean,
want to.
either way, it
say
doesn't really
something
matter, I
that's-
still have to go out there and inspect it, so it doesn't really matter what the dimensions are, because it's required for me by the state.
But you
as
don't
you
have
read
to
in
go
there-
inside the homes, even at the final, when the home is built. You do not need to go inside the homes and sign the CO. Not every town does it.
But
and
what we do have to do is
Is
try.
Is what?
We have to try.
Exactly, we have to try.
You can ask
That's on
the
page
owner,
4.
they can deny
Um,
you entry, and then you cannot hold up their CO.
Okay,
And I would never ever do that.
I guess what I'm trying to get at, and would have been a lot easier if it was categorized.
All right, that's why I made it a little bit open.
Jumping all over the, thanks,
Well,
buddy.
No, I think it's important to go with the certification and the inspections first, though.
So, just as an overview, we have to try to get inside.
correct.
Doesn't matter if we agree with that or not, we have to try to get inside, that's
Right.
the rule.
And we have to accept
There's 2
the
ways
decision.
to get inside. There's the nice way, and there's the hard way. And for years, and I'm gonna say this goes back before your time, how's that, does that help?
I'm fine, whatever way you
Okay.
wanna do it.
I remember being told in 1996 by an assessor that if they weren't allowed in, they would assume that I had gold-plated faucets and run my appraisal up through the roof.
We have to assume we have to guess
That
what's
was-
in there.
But that was what I was told. You have to let us in, otherwise we're gonna get you.
Well, I wouldn't
And
put
what I
it that.
said was, guess what? I do have gold-plated faucets. Beat it. What I'm saying is, I don't know about the people that voted for you, but the people that voted for me want to see a different approach. That's what I've heard,
Okay.
here, there, and everywhere. And I honestly think that we could get better cooperation if we're nice. I think.
We are very nice in my office, is that what you're saying?
No, 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 no.
That's what it sounded like.
I'm not making any comment on how things are done. I'm trying to establish how we should do things. That's without any,
Perhaps we could be more, I've always said, use I'm not necessarily, I know, social media, but more than the town website, more
Okay,
on pages.
okay, you and I talked about this, somewhat. And I had sent you an email, you were on vacation, which, and it was already halfway through, so no harm.
Oh, for the cyclical, yeah, they're,
Yeah, it was
they're-
already halfway through the process, I'm not pointing any fingers. But what I'm looking at is, let's say in the future, say next year, when,
Mhm.
is it PK?
Yep,
Okay, when they come in, if we were to develop a statement to put out every way we can and say, look, if you live on one of these streets, we're gonna be there. We need to be there because the state says we have to every 10 years, and explain it to them.
sure,
And then say, the cars will look something like this, they'll have, I don't know if they have a magnetic sign, whatever we can tell them.
yep,
And then say, by law, we have to ask you to come in.
sure,
Our goal is to just be accurate. Whether you let us in or not, you will not be penalized. I guess in a way that,
sure, we could do something like
you
that.
know, does that
Yeah,
make sense?
absolutely,
And I
absolutely.
think we might get better cooperation by doing it that way.
Sure, yeah, absolutely,
Okay,
we can do that,
Okay,
no problem at all.
that's where I'm coming from.
Oh, yeah, yeah. No, we usually put them, the streets are usually up on the website. I don't know how they didn't get up there this year.
Right.
The website's been kind of a crazy
No,
thing.
no, I know
so-
that's in transition.
Yeah,
But that's a good point. And
Yeah, no, we
again,
could definitely do that.
elaborate
And I
that.
realize,
And
and
we
now
can
we
do
have
a
the
lot of
town
other
website
things,
that
too.
they use. I
Nobody
don't do
looks at the
social
town
media,
website.
but
I
we
know.
can definitely put it on the
There's
town
20,000
website that
people
they're
on
using
social
now.
media.
So, and I
You wanna
think they
reach
did
the
put that
people,
up
that's how you do it.
afterwards, so, yeah,
I
but
just-
absolutely.
if we get it early, we can get the word out there and
Sure,
we can help.
I agree.
So we all agree that we could do better than what we're doing as far as getting the customer.
I'd rather say it's a good way to do it.
Improve.
Not making any
We can-
comparisons.
no, we
I don't
can
think
improve.
putting information on the blinking billboard out front here in the town dated website or an ad in the Sun Chronicle no one reads, I don't think that's a good way to reach the people. You know, there's 20,000
No, but
plus residents on
it
social
should be
media.
there, but
Yeah.
you're right, some of the, like, Facebook groups are gonna get a lot more
Yeah, a
exposure.
lot more
But the
attention.
big thing would be a statement we all agree on and we put out.
I think we all agree that we could do
Sure,
more public
absolutely.
relations.
There's
We all
always
agree
room
how
for
to
improvement,
move
absolutely.
forward with the customers, customer friendly, and I agree with you that, you know, it's gotta be established that it's not to be something that has to be a bad experience for them.
I also don't think we should be walking in someone's yard without an appointment.
I think we have to.
You know,
I
well,
think,
I just.
from what I'm reading here, I think.
Right.
They don't come to my yard, so, you know, and they won't, and, you know, they ain't going to my father's yard. I don't think we should just be walking on people's property without.
Or
without
with maybe
informing.
a public, like Jim said, that will be a little bit more proactive in saying, hey, these are the streets, this is what we're doing in
Yeah,
the
and
next 4
that
or
one,
5
from what
weeks.
I'm reading, the law is pretty clear that
Right.
we need to measure and, we don't need an appointment or permission outside.
Still
Right,
on
if it's a
somebody-
fenced
still on
yard, we would
private
never go in
property.
if it's a fenced yard, we would never go through the fence.
I wouldn't even put your dog in there.
No kidding, right? If there's no trespassing signs, we don't, no trespassing. Might go to the door and just ring the bell. Like, I have to do that for permits, but it depends on the house, it depends how it's set up. If it's a long driveway, it says no trespassing. Don't usually get down there unless it's an addition or something and we have to. But we wouldn't like necessarily walk around. Those things are kind of iffy. We don't usually go if it's a no trespassing unless
Well, the
It's
other thing,
something,
I
I don't
think
know.
in this case, we're talking about the cyclical
cyclical, they won't, if
inspection.
it's a no trespassing, they
And
won't
those
go on.
guys are, they're doing it everywhere, I'm guessing.
Oh,
they-
they're everywhere, they're in every town, they take turns, every week they're somewhere else, or every month, depending on how long it takes in a town.
I'm guessing they're like car repossessors, they're very friendly and nice and careful and,
Yep, they have really nice employees
So,
there.
Jim, you made the statement, I'm gonna follow up. What is, you know, quote, your people that elected you, what were they expecting? Or what were they are expecting?
they want to see a friendly approach. And one that gives them all the respect in the world. And I think we could get better cooperation from people using that method.
Examples, I mean, anything you can,
Well,
Top of your
like
head.
the statement I just said, you know, if you live on any of these streets, we're gonna be there. And then, I think it's important to say, the state requires us to be there.
Yeah.
Because that, and I think, I stood up at town meeting on the veterans thing and said, I think it's, what was it, the guy stood up and said he couldn't get an exemption because we hadn't passed that, what we passed at that.
Oh, yeah,
Well,
because he went into
that's
So I
business
thought it was important, I
trust.
got up at town meeting and
Yeah.
said, look,
yeah,
this wasn't us. The state says we have to do it a certain way. The state requires us to send the tax bill or assess this person, and only by adopting this we could change. This wasn't us.
Right, exactly.
And I think we can get a long ways if we tell people, either say, this isn't us, or say, this is what the state requires us to do. If we go out and say, we have a right to do
So,
this, then
should we,
people get their backs up.
And also,
Lucas,
if
what do you think?
somebody doesn't let you in, I think the assessors need to assume a fair or a good condition home inside and not, you know, assume gold-plated faucets like Jim said. So, you know, and if, you know, if the house turns out to be, you know, a junkyard inside, then they can let us in.
Right.
We can then see it's a
Well,
junkyard.
that's another one. If we let people know, look, our assumptions are gonna be that your house is decent and normal. If your house is a wreck, please invite us in, we'll give you a break.
well, no, we want to be,
Normally when they do
we
the
have to be
sick,
serious, and
Yeah.
what I'm saying, do you have any numbers that state how many rejections, not rejections, but people that don't let us in?
no, they used to do that, but they don't really keep track anymore because it's not really required. But, you know, when they're doing the cyclical inspection, I mean, if they don't get in, I highly doubt I haven't seen them anyway, that they're increasing anything. Like, if they're not getting in and the house is at average, they're not changing that to like good. You know, maybe the outside they might, if they can see that it's all new windows, siding, and roof, they might change that, but they're not gonna change the inside if they haven't gotten in. The only time that would
They're
happen,
gonna make the assumption that the inside is in good order, it's decent.
no, they won't, they'll just leave it at average, because the only time that
That's
would
what I meant,
prompt us.
average.
Yeah,
That's what I meant,
average. So
okay.
so your house always starts at average, and then we start increasing the interior or the exterior as they're pulling permits, right? So that's how we see it. So if they're out there for the cyclical, when there weren't any permits pulled for anything, they're not gonna assume the inside's in good condition,
Well,
because
they
the
do,
outside's in
what,
good condition.
500 properties a year?
Well, more than that, usually. I mean, this year they did 500, but sometimes it's up to 1,000.
Okay.
Depends how far, they're out there,
So
but
they're not
they're not,
fine tooth combing anybody.
no, they're just measuring, checking the outside, making sure the measurements are right. But they're not gonna assume that the outside's nice, that the inside's nice. They're not gonna do that. And we only do that if we can't get in. So if somebody pulls a permit for a kitchen and they don't let us in, well, we're gonna upgrade that kitchen no matter what. Even if they say it's not done, we're gonna upgrade it because that's what the permit says. So, and we don't know what's done. Was it gutted? We don't know. So that's why they should let us in so that we can know, because a lot of
Well,
times
if it was
people do
gutted, that would be on the
bathrooms
permit.
over. A lot of times people do bathrooms over, when we go in, I'm like, you only replaced the shower? They're like, yeah, I'm like, oh, I'm not changing anything, I'll just leave it the way it is. So that's why it's important. And honestly, when we get in, we probably take down more assessments than we bring them up, you know? I mean, I've been doing this work for 25 years.
Is there
So-
any,
It was 10 minutes ago.
I've been
I know.
I'm a certified appraiser for 25 years. I've been in the towns for 15.
what would you like to see in the next 90 days, 30, 60, 90 days, as far as the board getting out to the public? How would you want to achieve
I
that?
mean, I think having the board have its own Facebook page would be good. You know, that way it reaches out to, you know, and maybe I don't run it. I got my own, hey, listen, I'm not gonna, if I have something to say on social media, I know you guys don't like it, I don't care. I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say. I'm not sitting here because I care what people think. So if I have something to say, I say it. I'll say it on my own, I'll say it on my own social media, or my own. But if the board had a social media page, then that we could refer to, and then like Jim says, oh, we're gonna be
Agree
on
on
these
whatever
streets.
goes on.
How do you
This
monitor,
one.
how do you approve it, and how do you make sure
Well,
it's checks? to
We
the
approve it as a board,
compliance?
and we say, here's what we're gonna post, and then here's what it's gonna say, and then nobody goes rogue.
Well, I guess the way to do it would be whoever is the chairman at the time would be the one that would make the post. Same as, like you sign documents,
Yeah.
not all of them require all 3 signatures, some of them are just the chairman's signature. So, the chairman goes rogue and posts things on his own, we just remove them.
So what,
You know,
so
that
what
would
would
police
be,
itself.
But that would be just for the board's information to
Like
the
public
town. That's
information
not
stuff.
for, you know, me or you or Jim to go
Right.
complain about, you know,
but
issues with
what
you.
would be any downside to that? I'm trying to think.
I don't see a
The
downside.
only downside I could think of would be if the chairman just started doing things on his or her own.
No, I don't see that.
No, I don't think it would happen
Well,
either.
we come
But
to
there's a
agreement
solution
that-
for it, the next meeting, you're not the chairman
Well,
anymore, and we fix that.
Well,
So
I
I think it
don't
would
think
police
that.
itself, it would be
I'm
fine.
thinking of more compliance, or, you know, does the town need to get involved with setting up a Facebook page for the board? I mean,
No.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Pretty much every department's got one.
Okay. I'd
Police
like
has
to
got
look
one,
at-
fire's got one, highway's got one, everybody's.
I don't really
And
do
then
social
before,
media.
you know, something gets posted, we just sit, we agree and say, okay, that looks like a good post, we should.
But it would
and
be
it's
for
more
something like a
information.
cyclical inspection, where we
Yeah,
say,
it's
look,
more
if you live
information.
on these streets,
It's not a complaining page, it's more information.
That if it's, yeah, if it's facts and information opposed to being, you know, subjective, and, you know, I couldn't,
It's
yeah,
informational
that's
only,
the
that's
whole
why,
idea.
yeah,
that's the point.
yeah. I mean, because you know how Facebook can run.
That's fine, but, you know, if it's facts only and we're being informational, that way we can post it to the
But any,
town, then, you know, it's, you know, if someone on the board's got a gripe and wants to make their own complaint, they can go on a different Facebook group, not use the board's group as, you know, and I don't even care if you control it, I don't wanna control it.
Well,
But we
I
all
guess
agree, you know, this is
it
what
has
gets
to be
posted.
an agreement, it has to be, to me,
Nobody wants you to try kidding.
I don't want them to do it.
well, I'm just saying,
Oh.
to me, I think, I guess this is the age of social media, I guess, but, you know, my first pass would be,
Well, I guess
No.
the other thing might be, whatever announcement we put out, put it out there. I don't know, what do you think? Put it out there with the comment shut off?
Yeah.
So we're only
I mean,
making an announcement,
So
we're not
there's
interacting.
20,000 plus residents on social media between the 3 major groups. That's the best way to get the information out there is, and then if you wanna post it and shut off comments, so there's no complainers, that's even better, that's a great idea. You know, that way, you know, you just put the information out there, here's the streets we're working on, here's where
that,
we're gonna
that,
be, and shut off comments, that's it.
that may be something that, I don't know, I feel,
And then, you know, if the comments are shut off, nobody's gonna go back and forth, they're not gonna be, you know, squawking about us, and we're not gonna be responding. and-
Well, somebody will repost it and make their own comment section, can't avoid that, but.
You can't avoid that, though.
Right.
That's different.
all right, well, so that's what you would like to see that in the next 90 days?
Just for more informational for the residents,
And you?
yes.
Doesn't have to be in 90 days, I mean,
A third, I'm just thinking.
it could be a very long time, it could be a year before we have to say anything.
I'm just trying to get it, you
Well, I
know,
mean, it's probably not a bad thing, because we could put out there that, you know, the exemptions are ready, you know, things like that,
Yeah,
you know.
oh, actually, you know what?
I don't do social media, so I can't set up, I don't really know how to
We
do that
probably
stuff.
should put out like when abatement season starts, or
Yeah,
what
we
they
could
have
do
to
stuff
do,
like that.
something like
I mean,
that.
it's probably not a bad thing.
tax reclassification hearing coming up.
Yep, I mean, there's a lot of information.
That's done on the
Yeah.
website.
Yep.
Because if people are aware, they're less likely to be
Well, right.
angry.
Well, what happens
Usually
is,
angry people are uninformed people.
well, the more information you get buy-in, that's just automatic, that if you can get people to be informed, because that gives them, they're not caught, you know, surprised or flat-footed, they'll buy into it, and if they have a question, they would reach out to you or me, and then it can be that way, the information, so.
That's
At first pass, yeah, I mean, social media, but I get what you're saying, you can do
Oh,
that. I'm
cool.
That's what you were asking. I need
Yeah.
to update it, because I
Yeah.
haven't updated this in years, and I changed a couple of
I
dates.
think that would,
But I'll update it, I found it this morning.
yeah,
So I'll update it, clean it up, and get it back out to you guys. but you can have that for now. That's the,
Sorry to be the new member that asks a million questions.
No, I'm glad you're asking questions, that's good, you should
I'm
be.
still, where are we at with the codes?
Oh, so I think we already, well, by vote, right? We already had the vote last meeting.
I'm talking about the codes for the property card codes. That we
Oh, as soon as the
okay.
website's all set, then we're putting them up. I can't touch this website, I can't do anything.
That's,
So, and once
That
they
is
launch the new
true.
website, then we can put it up. I have it all ready to go, I just can't do anything yet.
because they're what, rewriting it?
The website?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's been, I guess, I don't know, a month anyways.
So I'd just like to get a copy of that, if you can email me a copy of that, or email Jim a copy of the codes, so.
Yep.
Even if it's not on the website.
I'll send it to all of you.
Yeah, because it'd probably be helpful if, I mean, you might know what the codes are, but
There's some of
I
them
don't know
there
what
that,
they
No, I
are.
have to look at most of them
Yeah,
myself,
no,
some of them,
they
because you
are.
don't see them all the time. You always
Well,
have to look
and
at them.
I'll admit, when we went through the course, they've got all this stuff, and I'm like, I'll look that up when I need it.
Yeah. And every software has different codes, so like if you might be in a different town, their codes might be different.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, some of them are similar, but they're different because of different software.
Okay, so, to your point, we're a little bit going back and forth,
Do you know
but,
where we are?
right, well,
No,
I
you
think
don't
we keep
either.
it open.
Yep.
For Denise's point, she wasn't here last time, and
Oh,
we spoke pretty much going back and forth on the CO, and
yeah,
I think we're kind of now beyond that, right? We've accepted the votes, and we're gonna go
yeah.
move forward.
Well,
That's
I mean,
not-
I think we should present something to the building
I
inspector,
think we are, right?
yeah,
yeah.
signing off.
And then at the same, the only thing, it does shift it, and I understand where you're coming from, it's easier that way. It shifts it to, we need at every sale to send out a letter or something.
We do that anyway. But we try to, you know, if we don't have to get out, we always like doing it this way, so we have to, if we don't have to bother a new homeowner, it's easier on them. That's why we like to do it at this time. Otherwise, then we have to bother them, they just bought the house, then we have to go back out there. And they're like, weren't you just out here? Well, no, we're not actually, we weren't inside, so. It just makes it easier for our office to do it.
No, I understand that.
And it's more accurate that way, too.
Well, the other thing we still do have is, we have a new house, it's done, it's finished. The new owner says, I don't want you in there. We're not gonna get everything, but we stop by, see the building inspector and say, what did you see? He's been there, he can tell us.
So for us, it's all about the quality of construction, which is very important, because that's telling us what the house is valued at. You know, so somebody's doing all these upgrades, you know, you have your Viking, you know, appliances and your top-notch cabinets and all that stuff. That makes a difference. I mean, we'll see that in the sales price, but if we know that ahead of time instead of changing it afterwards, that's another important reason to get in there, so we can see what's going on.
I would agree with that.
But if we can't get in there and all of a sudden we have it wrong and then we're looking at the sale price
Well,
and
what
things have already,
happens is
then we have to go back and change everything.
You've got a house that sold for 1.4 million, and it has all kinds of upgrades.
Mhm.
We don't get in, that changes our square foot price upwards quite a bit, because we're not accounting for upgrades, and it raises everybody else. In other words, if you take the 1.4 and say, well, there's 200,000 in upgrades, now it's 1.2 divided by the square foot. And that's a rough approximation. So, okay, so 1.4, 200,000 in upgrades, we don't get in, so we assume there's no upgrades. Now we take 1.4 divided by how many square feet, and that's how many dollars per square foot.
Okay.
And now that affects everybody else. But if we take the 1.4, subtract the 200, because those were
Well,
upgrades,
it doesn't necessarily,
Wait a minute.
okay.
now the base price is 1.2 divided by the square footage. Is that, you follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know, I wouldn't look at it that way.
Well, I'm looking at how the software is gonna adjust it
Yeah, it
out.
doesn't necessarily mean that it's gonna affect everybody else. You talking about all the other new construction, you mean, or
Right,
like
'cause
all the
when
other houses?
we input all the new construction in as
Yeah.
required,
Yep,
and I think, do we have to do a certain, Oh, that would be in the cyclical inspection. Those get inputted in.
It's like
into-
what?
Into the software.
If there's, yeah, we just note that we're out there.
But it's all, there's all numbers, new numbers or whatever, or the old numbers still go back in.
The
In
cyclical,
other
only,
words-
only if there's any changes,
Right,
that would
but what
happen.
I'm saying is, the software sees this 1/10 required input, which some might not be any changes.
Mhm.
But that's input in, it could be no change, it could be up, down, or whatever. And then there's new construction, that goes in, that's like the input section of the software.
Okay,
And then there's 90% that the software automatically throws numbers at, to a small degree, whatever degree, based on what we input.
not necessarily, no. So what we're doing is when we're, there's more than that, because because you're saying that the new construction might affect everybody else in town?
Well, there's 9-year-old data out here
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah,
So the software has to keep bringing that up, because otherwise, when it comes to the cyclical inspection,
yeah,
it's
so
getting a 9-year
we're not
chunk.
doing it by new construction though. That's all about the sales data.
Right.
So when we're looking at values and the values go up every year,
Ah,
that's because of the
okay,
market.
okay.
That's totally different
Okay.
than new construction.
But new construction is a part of it, because new construction gets sold.
Right, but that stays with the new houses because of the age of the house and
Mhm.
all of that. So we're
But
looking,
I guess what I'm saying though is, the sales and the new construction, because it's sales,
Mhm.
that's all stuff that the software sees that it
Yeah,
talks to
well-
the rest of it.
we put it all in there, but,
Because we can't look at 6,000 houses
oh
every
God,
year.
no. No, so yeah, that's why we have the codes
I
in
mean, we
there.
can't even look at 600, we have to hire somebody.
Yeah, exactly. So once the sales come in, we look at all the sales, right? And then, so we start to quantify them. So we're looking at,
That's what I'm
so
saying.
we're looking at the colonial,
And if we quantify them wrong, it affects the rest in a way.
it could.
Yeah.
But we do a lot, like,
But
'cause
that
when we're
happens.
quantifying them,
Oh,
we're doing
it has
them in.
to.
They're right,
Yeah.
exactly. You got a finite number.
We can't get it right.
Right.
It's not even possible.
Right.
So when we're quantifying, we quantify them in a bunch of different ways. Once we start, we'll go over the, now the colonials. What are the colonials doing in that neighborhood? How old are those colonials? Like, we have to look at all the different ages, all the different square footage, all the different factors that are involved, So, and those sales are what we're looking at, and then we do.
And factors we're missing affects our accuracy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Right, so that's why it's important to get into these homes, to make sure that we have everything accurate. Because we don't want to overassess anybody, I mean,
Right.
everybody's taxes are high. I mean, where I live, my taxes are high, I don't want anybody overassessing me either. So, I mean, we want to be as honest as we can. So if we can get in and,
Was that 8 years ago? Some guy ran for president on the taxes are too damn high party. He
I
called
don't
it.
know.
But,
So I think what Denise was saying, if there's a lot of home sales for 4-bedroom, 2.5-bath colonials, that can drive
oh, absolutely, with the way the sales are
market,
going,
right,
yeah.
versus a ranch home. Am I right?
Yeah, could be, so
and
every year,
that's always been,
yeah, and
Right,
every year
well,
it could be
so
something
whatever-
different.
Right, so whatever the trend, or not
I
trend,
mean,
but
I've
the
been
actuality, so.
valuing houses for 35 years. If I don't know what a house is worth, I'm gonna go out of business, because I have to put $1 million into a project, and if it's only worth $900,000,
Right,
I'm out of business.
Yeah.
I gotta know, and I think it's more complicated now than it was 30 years ago, you could just drive by and say, that raised ranch is worth that one's worth that. I mean, you could,
Not these days, you don't know what
it's
they're going
much
for
more
anymore,
complicated now.
Yep, the way the market's going, it's been crazy.
And now we don't have raised ranches and colonials, now we've got all kinds of architecture.
Yeah,
It's hard to put a,
but new growth is an important part of your job,
oh, yeah, well,
and the assessment. And
because the new growth is part of the budget, so,
Right.
we gotta get that new growth in.
so, but just from our discussion now, I mean, are you in agreement that we have to follow new growth, try to get new growth the best we can, and track it? Are you in agreement with that?
I would take exception with
I'm
best
more
we
concerned
can.
with assessing properties fairly and
Yeah.
concerned with the budget and the new growth numbers and worrying about other departments and their issues with the budget. Because, if the home's worth $1 million, it's worth $1 million. I don't think, we need $1.1 million to make that work so we can make the budget work. That's their problem. The budget's not our problem.
Well, I would hope that's not.
No, I don't think that, I hope not, that's not happening. I
My
think the
position
sale,
would be
the
new
sale,
growth,
yes, go ahead, Jim.
new growth that comes,
Yeah,
we certainly take it in.
right.
But I don't believe we should aggressively be trying to get it.
Yeah, I agree.
You know?
And at the end of the day, it's really the sale price.
What do you mean by
It
aggressive?
hasn't always been the sale price.
It should.
It
I
should
mean,
be.
we could chase
Sale
each other
price
with
is, the
permit.
sale price and
We have to.
the sale
No,
price.
but I mean, trying
said
to,
What, Lucas, go ahead.
So I think the sale price should be the guideline. And, we already had this discussion, and I understand commercial's different, but we got commercial properties that sell, 72 million, valued at 64 million. I feel like the sale price should be the benchmark. When we go back to the residential, we already had this discussion at one of our abatement, for the abatements. There was a home that sold, and a year and a half later, it was valued $270,000 higher, and we ended up approving an abatement on that property. So the sale price is the benchmark. That home shouldn't be 9 months later valued, $270,000.
I have a question on that, though. Could that be a function of the software?
It could, well, it's a couple of different things. So the sale price is only the sale price for that 1 year, and it can increase after that.
But we don't input it.
No, it's
Okay.
part, so if they're seeing all these, say it's a
That
colonial.
was the thing I wanted to bring
So if
up.
they're seeing all those colonial, that's what I was saying at the
So the
last meeting.
we input all the sales,
Yeah,
and now the software says colonials are worth a lot more money than they were last year in the software.
right.
'Cause that would be,
No, that's
Yeah, so we
not-
always have
I
some
don't-
outliers.
I don't completely agree that it's the software that increases valuations when you get some homes that go up, or don't even go up, and then some homes that go up 25, 30% in a year. So
Well,
That's when
No,
we're
that's a-
quantifying,
that's
that's
a
when the
manual.
quantifying comes in though, and
That's
looking
where-
at the neighborhoods.
that's when, the computer's not bumping a home
we
up
don't want to
20%.
make manual changes, do
It's
we?
not happening. So, and one guy goes up 3%, one guy goes up 25%. That's somebody's going in there and putting the finger on the scale. And I got my opinions to that. But, the computer's not pushing up homes 25%. Well, the town average is 5 to 8%. So why'd this guy go up 20, 25%? The home I was just referencing saw a massive spike, almost 20% increase, 22% in 1 year. But the sale price the year prior, should have been the benchmark. Yeah, okay, so maybe the market goes up, he goes up, 3 or 5%. He shouldn't have gone up 20%. And that's why we approved an abatement on that property, so. And what did we do? We brought it back to the sale price.
Right, and that's only good for 1 year, and that's it. Because like we just
Well, okay,
said,
but-
that if those colonials are going up 20%, it's gonna hit that person no matter who it is.
Okay, but we
right?
don't do it.
Well, it goes into the software, into all the
That-
codes.
that's what I'm
Right.
saying.
And there's always outliers, it does happen. And we do try to catch those and see what's going on, but last year was kind of crazy with the things going on. But there are always outliers that could happen because of situations like that, especially in the higher end homes, because we don't, it's hard to say.
Mhm.
But yeah, we do take a look.
But I
at
guess
it.
the big thing I'm saying, so we don't go in and say, I think that house is more, and,
Oh, God, absolutely not.
Okay,
No, we would
that's-
never do anything like that.
okay.
We review the sales, I review the sales, my staff member reviews the sales, so like, we'll go on MLS, Realtor.com, whatever, and we'll take a look at those homes if we can't get in. I mean, we do both, if we can get in, that's great. Because I don't like looking at the pictures, I don't think they're accurate, because you have professional photographers doing them now, right? So I don't like doing that, but so we try to read what are the upgrades, that's what we look for. Oh, they upgraded the kitchen, the bath, the heating systems. So we go by that stuff. That's the only time we would change anything without actually going to the home, because that's what we have to do. we don't chase sales, is what you're saying, we don't do
So
that.
you're taking the position that you don't make any manual changes to valuations on residential homes in town, and that everything is computed through the computer?
No, it's not what I said. I just said, we are looking at all the pictures, if we can't get in, we do make changes if we get in and we find things have changed, we'll make those changes on those houses that we're in. And for the sales, if we see those changes on like MLS, and they're saying that they're upgraded, but we don't have the upgrades, then we will make those changes.
And a home that hasn't had any upgrades in several years, you can manually go in and make changes to that home's valuation.
No, we would never do that. Not if there's no reason to get into that house.
Denise, I've lived it. I've been living it for the last 8 years.
Lucas, we would never just go in and change
Yes,
somebody.
100% you do,
Who?
100%. Myself, the guy in Reservoir Street I
I've
was
never
just
went in
referencing.
manually and changed anything on yours. You pulled permits for everything. I don't know what you're
I'm
talking
not
about.
gonna get into my property
Well, we
on,
should- let's-
but I've already proven that you guys manually go in and make adjustments.
We don't.
Yes, you do, 100%. How does a home go up 25, 27% in a year when the market says, okay, the homes went up 5%? Well, this guy's home went down. The market, on average, the home goes up 5 or 8%. So why is this guy going up three
So-
times the rate in
so-
town? And not every big home, not every valuable home is going up at the same rate.
So
Right.
one of the things that we talked about last meeting, and it's actually on the agenda down the road here, is...
I got no idea where it is.
Well, both of you mentioned about detached properties. And
Whoa, let's
Right,
let's finish.
that's what I'm saying.
Don't jump ahead yet.
Well, I'm just saying, I think do you need to add anything more about the standards of inspection?
No,
Should we-
I think as long as you guys understand what they are, I think we're all set with that.
Okay, are you all right? You all
And
right
that-
with that?
and that we
And
have
can we, and if we need to bring that up for old business next
well,
meeting, we
And
can.
that-
Yeah,
even-
and
it's a
well,
lot to
even for-
digest.
You
The
said
one thing I
something-
want to say
You
about,
said something that encouraged me. I want to give you credit for that. You said, you went in, all they did was change the shower, and you said, not doing anything there. Because that's my concern. Yeah, we have new growth, and we account for it.
yeah,
But I just don't want to see us actively trying to get new growth.
oh God, no.
And
I don't-
that
yeah,
statement
no.
helped.
No, I'll go into houses and I'll go down like they have a finished basement, and it's like a 1970 finished basement. I take it right off. To me, that's not finished. They come right off.
So let me
You're
ask you this.
unfinished.
If it's got
So let me
paneling.
ask
Yeah,
you this,
exactly, it's off.
homeowner wants an abatement on his garage, has no issues with the valuations on his home, but you requested an inspection on his home. Has nothing to do.
That's the
So why
requirement.
do you gotta go into his home if he's not disputing the value of his home, he's disputing the value of his garage?
Because they filed for an abatement, and in order for an abatement, which I believe it says it in the standards, we do a full inspection, which includes the home.
Okay, so
You can't, because
that's policy.
that's,
Okay.
I think it says it in the state, in the
That's it.
Yeah,
certifications.
all right, so that's policies,
Yep.
no wiggle room there for the town, the board. All right, so we can obviously continue this at next meeting. If you have anything else to add, but I'd like to move on. And I think
What are you
everyone,
moving on to?
well, we're gonna go to old business, and actually we covered this, certificate
Oh,
of
okay.
occupancy.
You got to catch
policy.
all at the end.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's all caught up, and certificate of occupancy policy, and I think we talked about that. Is there anything else we need to add? I think we've made the decision.
Yeah,
I think you had put something together.
yeah.
I think the vote, if I remember correctly, I definitely remember, it was 201.
Yeah.
And that will be forwarded to the building department for their action. Am I right?
Yep.
So, okay. Now, 8 of 58.
Well, that's gonna be next, that is, 8 of 58 is 6 Todd Drive.
Oh,
All right, so you had.
where are we at on that?
Well, we're gonna discuss that as soon as we, don't you have something that you wanted signed to move? I thought you had put together,
For the
No,
building department?
Yeah.
That's, huh?
yes.
That was done.
Oh, was it done?
Yeah.
A letter for the building department, I thought we were gonna do a letter for the
Right.
building department
Exactly.
to remove
yeah.
the assessor
You
from
had-
the CO.
You had put something together.
Well, 8
To
of
present.
58 is 6 Todd Drive, that's
No,
done.
that's separate.
Right, no, we'll talk about that right after. Certificate of,
Oh, we've got the letter for that.
Right, and you wanted to bring that up because we actually voted on it.
Correct.
And though we didn't put an official signature
Correct.
to it.
Correct.
So would you like that to
Oh, well,
be signed now?
Why didn't you say so?
Did you understand?
Yeah, I got it.
Thank you, thank you.
Fine, 2-1, I was wrong. It was
All right.
perfectly understandable.
Right, thank you.
I'm slow.
All right. So with that taken care of, now we're going to talk about 8 of 58, which is in reference to 6 Todd Drive.
Okay, but that's done and
It's
gone.
done. There. So what we need to do is do an official, Denise had been away for, what?
Couple of weeks.
Yeah. So it hasn't been officially sent in to the state, the actual document. We've agreed that everything is going to be put forward to the state,
Oh,
all right? There's no changes, but Denise feels uncomfortable doing what we have agreed upon and voted upon. So
I thought we
my,
already submitted it.
no,
Yeah, I
we
was of
didn't
the-
submit it.
I was
Yeah.
of the impression it was done
Yeah.
and submitted.
It wasn't submitted, that's why I put it on the agenda.
So submit it.
Right.
We voted on it, we redid it. submit it.
Correct. So my question, or my, I guess, bringing it up to you, would you mind, since you architected this, would you mind submitting it
Through,
to the state?
I mean, I don't feel like I should be the one to submit it, I thought you were gonna submit it.
Well, I can do that, but since the vote was 2-0-1, I have no problem doing that, but I was just offering that tonight.
I mean, I don't
I'll do
care.
it, I'll do
You guys
it.
want me to submit it, I mean.
It's up to you.
Submit it.
I
thought
have
it was
no
already
problem
done, so
doing it. I'll do it. But I just wanted to make sure.
It needs to be submitted as we presented it though.
Exactly.
With no changes.
Oh, yeah, no
Okay.
changes.
Why? There's one way to be sure of that. You submitted.
There's no
Right?
changes, no changes at all. I have it here, be happy to do it, but I'm just offering to, and let you know that Denise's position on that, and just being transparent.
Yeah, no, then that's
Okay,
understandable.
so that's why it's on as an agenda item.
At
No
the same
changes,
time,
everything
I
is
got the
fine.
Arnold's mad too, so.
But we agreed that we were gonna do this, and we will do this.
Okay, well, why don't,
So when
Are
are
you
we,
okay
when
with
is it gonna be submitted?
well, if you submit
Can we
it,
do it this
then
way?
you know everything's done
I mean, I don't care.
on the up and up.
It's up to you.
And
I can do it as the chair. You wanna do it?
Once you submit it, we can all see what was submitted anyway,
Okay.
so just submit
Okay.
it and then we can all
Okay.
review it through the gateway. you know?
All right, very good. So that's,
that was a lot of work.
well, it's just being upfront. All right.
So what was the delay in submitting this? I'm
Oh,
just
boy.
curious.
I had, I'll take some ownership, but Denise was away, and I thought it'd be best if she had been part of it, and that's the reason why. So it will be submitted exactly how we presented and signed off on it, because I have it right here. Agreed? Agreed.
I don't agree that we should have delayed it. I mean, we
Yeah,
have
no.
we have a three-member board, you know, and, you know, perhaps, you know, the town manager didn't agree with it, or the Arnolds
Oh,
didn't
no,
agree
no,
with
no,
it.
no.
We have a three-member board, we voted to submit it, we should just
Right.
submit it.
Right.
We don't have to wait for Denise to get back from vacation
I
to get her.
think- I
Let me
think
say it in a
Rick-
shorter version.
Yeah,
We voted, you should have submitted,
yeah.
you did wrong.
Do you even know how to submit it though, is the question.
Well, I can,
So, I mean,
it's not a,
if you haven't been there and you don't know
Right.
your way around it, then it would be kind of difficult, and I don't know if Rick's been on that.
well, I've been on the portal, so
Okay.
Yeah, but, yeah.
we'll work it out. We'll get it done this week, how's that?
If you can let us know when it's submitted, I'd
Yeah.
like to just confirm there's no
Yeah,
changes.
yeah, it's gonna be exact
Word
same
for
thing.
word.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exact.
I said one sentence, you've gotten the beating I was gonna give you, well said.
Okay, and then, I guess the last, discussion for this evening will be, Jim, Board of Assessor policy,
Okay.
as a continuation.
So, we had three, what do we have, three things, right?
We had three
yeah.
bullet points. You
Let's start with the, I guess the, I don't know if it's the hard one or, you had mentioned it in an email, and I had, the thing with 6 Todd Drive really piqued my interest. And I know we've all got different opinions. So I do think we need to develop some kind of a policy on these accessory buildings, how we're looking at them.
So our accessory
'Cause-
buildings are fine. This Todd Drive one is a little bit unique
Well,
in a
to be
way.
blunt, if that's worth more than 80 grand, I'll eat my hat. There's no way when they sell that house, it's gonna, I don't think it'll.
We don't
But-
know that until it sells though, unfortunately.
No, but in a
How
way
much
we
should it
do.
cost, yeah, but how much should it cost? You know, that, I think would be worth a lot more than that. You know, you have that beautiful floor that they did. It's a big garage. Then you
Well, it
have the
is.
finished area above it. So,
Well-
yeah, we don't know how these, I mean, we have to look at the sales when we have garages like this, and we don't have any that have sold.
Correct.
Right?
correct.
So it is,
That's why
right, but it
what I-
is, what
That's
it
why
is
what I'd
until they
like to
sell.
do is reach out and see if we can get 3 or 4 appraisers to come in and talk to us on how they appraise these things.
I can tell you how they appraise them, because I've been doing it for 25 years.
I know how they
You know.
appraise them too, but I think that's
I
why.
know how
we
they
need to-
appraise them too, and it's not the way the town appraises them. 100%. I can tell you that.
Well, I can tell you that in assessing, this is how we do them. Because like I said, I worked for another town, we did it the same way. I'm at these meetings all the time, in the classes, everybody's doing them the same way in the towns.
They could be, but I wanna get them right. And I don't
Well-
think we are.
The way the banks are appraising these buildings are not the same way the town is appraising these
Nope,
buildings.
because we do mass appraisal, and they do not.
Correct, that's what I talked to, Rich about. The difference between appraising and assessing is they're dead on accurate, we're throwing darts at a wall.
No, who, the assessor, the appraiser? Is that what
The
you're saying?
appraiser has to be right.
No, so the appraiser, it's their opinion of value. It's not, that's, just because they're selling something for 500,000 and the appraiser said, yeah, it's 500,000, not necessarily, that's the appraisal. When you read the appraisal, it says it's their
Oh,
opinion of value.
I've read a million of them, I
Right?
know all the boilerplate.
So
But the
that
appraisers-
appraisal can go a few different ways. Like I said, I've been doing it for so
But when
long.
appraisals go wrong, appraisers get fired. It's a serious
Yeah,
business, they're
it's-
looking
yeah,
at one.
absolutely.
They're
You're
looking
right.
at one.
Yeah.
We can't be held to that standard, we're looking at 6,000. So I'd like to have some appraisers come in and talk to us about how they value those
So,
And you're talking
you know,
about, excuse me, detached properties?
accessory buildings.
So
And
we have
the-
valuation companies, they are appraisers.
So,
All your valuation companies out there are appraisers.
Mhm.
That's what they do. And they're the ones that are looking at these, they're the ones that are putting the values on these. They're going by
Well,
all that stuff.
I'm
do you think they-
concerned
Okay, go ahead.
because my 35 years of experience tells me that the Arnold's is way, way off. Now, if appraisers come in and explain it in a different way, I'm willing to change my mind. But right now, and we've got
Honestly-
them all over town.
Yeah,
And I'm just saying, we
is a
gotta
question to
come up with
Denise.
a standardized.
Is there a way that we have the latitude to put another code in for,
Yeah, we put codes in all the
no,
time.
but a new code for some sort of, like, for example, I don't know, do we have horse properties,
Mhm.
barns?
Yep.
Are they, how are they?
They're separate, yeah, they're listed under a barn,
Right,
or
okay,
a
so,
stable, or they're all different.
Well, that would be a
Depending-
commercial property, right?
No,
no,
residential,
residential.
Those are big business.
Right, so,
residential.
so my question would be,
Apartment buildings are residential.
Okay.
so is it something that we would have the ability to classify, I don't know, a big 3,000 square foot detached, whatever,
Well,
property for space like a gym or a you know, can you break that down? Or whatever the usage is.
Well, yeah, so on the card, it says that it's a garage, and then it has the code for the bays underneath, and then a code for finished area above.
So if you've got a garage that is, say the Allen's garage,
Yeah.
and then you got another property, you've got roughly the same size garage, but it's a declared in-law, which is
Yep.
legal to rent,
Right.
legal to live in, and those valuations are very similar, almost the same square foot price. I see a problem with that.
It doesn't
Because the
matter,
Arnold, the garage on Todd Drive is not livable, it's not heated, it's not livable. I don't care if it's got sheetrock, it's still,
The thing,
it's
it
not
has no
livable.
value.
This garage over
That's not
here
true.
is a rental property. It's a declared in-law through the town. So this value is worth more than this one, but it's not. That's not the way we're doing it. They're both 180 a square foot. We shouldn't be valuable.
And Mark-
I had an 1,500 square foot accessory building where I lived on Pine Street back in the 90s. And I got zero for it.
Zero when you sold it?
Zero.
It had no value.
Had zero value. I could have got the same money for that house with or without it. It brought me zero.
that all
Now,
depends though.
I've moved, I don't know how many times in between then.
So you
And
had
I
no
have not
garage.
built another accessory building. I want one in the worst way, but I've not built one because I know they have zero value or very low value. When I build a house that I'm gonna stay at for a long time, then I'm gonna build an accessory building for myself. But value-wise, they've got little to no value. They're like a
Yes,
swimming
some
pool or a hot
value.
tub.
They do have value, and you know, you have to prove that though, so with the sales, right? For those values to change, you have to prove that they're not worth that, you know, because when they're doing those, these things are first built, they're also looking at construction costs, what they might be. I mean, there's a lot of different things that we're looking at when we're putting these
But the
values on.
value is what you can sell it for.
Right, but we don't know that until the sales come in, so, I mean, these garages are selling with their homes, and okay, let me back up for a minute. We have a house that's sold with a garage,
Mhm.
all right? And then we have another house that's sold
There you go.
without the garage.
Yep,
We're
yep.
looking at those
Yeah,
differences.
that's the way to look at it.
That's
I agree
exactly
with you.
how we're
Yep,
looking at
I
it.
agree with
And
you.
that garage is saying, yes, it is adding value,
Mm.
and that's why it's valued at
Mhm.
that amount.
But are
So
you
yes, we
saying
are
that
definitely looking at that.
A guy's garage who has
Yeah,
a garage,
that's the right way to look at it.
Yeah, we
I-
do that,
so-
absolutely.
are you saying that the garage over on Todd Drive is valued at the same square foot price as a garage that's a declared in-law, that's got 2 kitchens, 2 bathrooms, and can be rented?
I'm not sure, you'd have to look at it, because there's too many different factors involved in that.
They're
It
both
depends on-
garages,
but it
roughly the
should
same
be.
size.
It should
This
be.
guy has rental income coming in, or he has the ability to have
Well,
rental income.
we don't
and
look
it's
at it that
livable
way.
space.
Well,
We don't
legal
look at
living
the-
space is
He's
gonna
got
be a
legal
different
living
value
space.
than-
We
Legal
don't,
living space should be priced higher than accessory buildings.
Well,
it depends how it's coded. So it depends, like, if it's a second floor, then, if it's an in-law, well, so it doesn't matter if it's an in-law or not an in-law. We don't charge extra money because it's an in-law, because we have to look at what
We
the
should.
sales are doing.
Should.
Depends what the sales are. It
Well,
depends on the square
sales would be
foot,
vastly different.
not necessarily. They
Isn't
are a
it?
little bit different,
You
but it
can't live
depends
in
on the
your accessory
buyer.
building. You can't live in your finished
Well, you're talking about a
accessory.
single family and then one with an in-law, is that what you're talking about?
I'm saying you can't legally live in your garage, in your accessory building. You can legally live in an in-law. So that building is worth more money because it's an in-law, it's livable
It's
space.
attached to the house.
This, no, not detached, I'm talking about
Okay,
detached.
but I think that's why I wanted to reach out and see if we can get some appraisers to come in to talk to us.
Well, if you can give me some, I mean, if you have homes that are like that, I can take a look at them and I can explain them to you. But I mean, off the top of my head, I'm not quite sure what you're talking about. When we do in-laws, it's the square footage. We will put in that there's an extra kitchen, and we'll charge them for the extra kitchen, but it's all about the square footage. You know, if they're getting income from that, we can't charge them on that, it's an in-law.
Not income, but like-
I guess what I'm saying, and see if I can tie it in with Lukey's saying to try to, let's say you've got a 2,000 square foot colonial, 1,872 feet, how's that?
There you go.
Because that's 2636. So 1,872 foot colonial with a 2-car garage. I might be out of touch. 700?
Okay,
roughly.
all right, we'll use that.
And let's add a 4-bay, 24 by 48 garage to it. I'm, just for the sake of discussion, gonna say that when you sell that, this is worth 7. With that garage, you might get 7.25. You're gonna be
depends on
hard
the-
pressed to get more.
It depends on the buyer, you know?
No,
so-
no.
I think so, it depends.
Because the buyer that wants the garage knows he doesn't have to
Well,
pay for it.
But if that's the case, if that's what's
Well,
happening,
Wait.
okay, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Okay, so now we've got the same 1872 two-car garage, 700, and now we've got 24 by 48, which is, I don't know what that is, 1,100 square feet, roughly. And now it's an ADU.
Right, I was just gonna say, yep.
Now it's 7 plus 2, you're gonna get 9 all day long.
Well,
And the buildings could be almost identical, you know, sheet rocked, everything.
Mm.
I guess does that make sense? That's where I'm...
It does, but that would
Coming from.
reflect in the sales, and that's what we'd be looking at.
Correct.
So we'd have to wait for the sales. I mean, I couldn't give you an answer, because we have to see what happens.
But I'd like to look at where we're at and kind of see if we can homogenize things a little bit.
Okay,
aren't ADUs different?
so we don't have any
On
ADUs
eight-
yet.
And knowing also that it's a revenue neutral thing. Because it's not a new growth situation, we're just moving things, you know what I'm saying?
Well, so you're adding an ADU and you're saying it's not.
No. We're looking at where we're at with accessory buildings,
Mhm.
and whatever we change it to,
Detached buildings.
it doesn't change the levy,
Yeah, right,
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah,
So we're not talking about dollars coming in, going out or anything, we're just talking about trying to be better reflective, if we can, I'm not
Yeah.
casting any stones, I'm just looking to see where they are.
yeah. Okay.
So that's my.
What are you guys looking for? Like, what did you want me to do? Like, did you want reports on something? Like, what?
No, I'd like to reach out, like publicly, see if we can get some appraisers interested to come in and talk to us and tell us how they're looking at it, what they're seeing.
Okay.
Because,
Other associations, people you know?
you know what, that's the other too, yeah, and feel free to invite somebody you might know. We're not trying to stack any decks, we're just trying to, get
You
information.
know anyone?
Well, I can tell you what appraisers do for detached
Appraisers.
dwellings.
Appraises person.
They just throw a figure on there, 25,000 a bay maybe. You know, that was standard.
A couple
It used to be
refunds.
$5,000 a
I
bay.
mean,
they
I'm
would add
also
on,
aware
and
that
then-
you get the PNS, you get the number, and you gotta hit it. I mean,
Well, no, yeah, but that's not always the case though, but like, that's standard usually. I don't know what it is now, I haven't appraised in a
no,
couple
but I
of
mean,
years.
that's the
That's how
starting
it
point.
was. It would always be like,
You get the PNS, you get the project, you gotta hit that number, and you try, and if
Right.
you can't hit it, you can't hit it. But
yeah, but when it comes to accessory buildings on appraisal, they're always a lot lower. They usually,
And they're accurate,
not always
because they
though.
don't bring the money.
Well,
You're saying detached properties don't bring the money.
Well, in our
Right.
sales data,
Okay.
it does bring the money in, because we're going by the sales data, is what I'm trying to say.
Well, at the
If
same
these
time,
ho-
let's bring that in too then.
It's all about the sales data, that's
Let's
how we
bring
come up with
that
our
in-
values.
Let's bring that in too. That
Bring-
makes sense. Let's look at the sales data and bring that into our
Well,
discussion.
that's how we come into the values for
No,
our
I know, but
accessory
let's
buildings.
bring it in so we can all look at it
So,
and see where it is.
What you could do is, and you said accessory dwelling units, is there anything that we can contrast, compare?
We don't have any of those, but
None?
EDUs, we don't have any yet,
We don't have any yet, I don't believe we do.
so you can't do that, it's gonna have any.
It'd be
I'm
interesting.
talking about accessory buildings, garages, barns,
Right.
and whatnot.
Right, so when those sales come in and we're off, we have to figure out why we're off. And at
Right.
that point, that's when they
So-
start making those adjustments, so if that garage is off, then we're gonna bring that value down on those garages. Like, we're already doing that stuff.
We are, as a board.
Well,
No, we're doing that with PK and myself, we're looking at that
Could
stuff.
you-
We just
PK
had
is-
this,
Could you do
in the
this?
abatements, you guys were not dropping the valuations, we as
is
a
there
board
any
dropped
way
the
to capture
valuations.
any of that detached properties and have
That's what I'm saying,
A
let's listen to
low, medium, and
appraisers.
high.
Let's listen to appraisers, let's bring in what sales data we have, and let's
Right.
look at it.
Well, and
You
not,
can't bring appraisers though, because appraisers do different than what we do. You can't do that. That's totally different.
Well, our job is to assess the fair
Right.
and accurate value,
Right.
and they're in that business of doing that. And we have the sales data, so let's bring them both in so that we can see, because right now we're operating in a vacuum.
So if a bank appraiser says your accessory building is worth
Oh, I'm not saying
200,000,
you're operating a vacuum, I'm saying we are, we don't,
the town can't then say, well, that building's worth 600,000, because, you know, if the
well,
building is worth 200,000, that's what the bank's giving you for money. That's what-
I would think, and maybe, and this is just throwing, bank appraisers, their job is to
Any money
loan money at a low risk,
based on the fair market value of that
at a low
property.
risk. So I don't think they would,
Not typically, if they give you a fair market value, and then they say, we're gonna give you 80% of that fair market value, they're not
Okay.
giving you 100% of the property
Okay.
value.
And a lot of
An
times with the
appraisal's a-
appraisers, what the
No,
appraisers
the
do is they
appraisal is
pull
what it's
the,
worth.
let's back up for a
Yeah.
second. That's one
Yeah.
thing I have to say. When an appraiser, now with all the new regulations, this is,
Mhm.
a couple of years ago, like I said, I've been an appraiser in a couple of years. What we had to do with the new regulations, I don't know if this still goes on or if it was just a temporary thing, I have no idea. But the bank's looking at the property record card, all right? So they're seeing what's on there on that property record card. They see what the garage is valued at, or whatever you want to talk about, right? So, I mean, I don't even know how to
yeah,
explain
they're
this.
not doing that
So-
anymore.
Yeah, it's really complicated with appraisers. You can't,
Now they're
but
doing
they are looking
comparable
at what,
sales.
they are looking at what we're assessing those at.
Not
I
anymore.
always, yes, they are. I've always done that. And in my assessing classes, that's what we did. And all my appraising classes.
All the
Yeah.
appraisals coming through now is just comparable data.
Of course, it's comparable data, but you have to look at it. But they are also looking at what the town has on the property record card. Right, because that, yes, they are. I'm an appraiser. This is what I was doing. Yeah, we do.
But it's not in the report.
No,
All the numbers are comparable data.
it's a lot more complicated. I can't get into how appraisals are done. It's a lot more complicated than that. But they are looking at all that data the same way we are.
all right,
So,
okay. Well, what do you feel comfortable, what do you feel comfortable doing next step to kind of agree that, to get information like that we can all agree upon?
I'd like to invite some people in, say, like August, and see if we can learn something.
well, maybe you should have, maybe I'll have PK Evaluation come in then.
That's good.
That would be
Yeah,
great.
Yeah.
I'll see if they can come in.
Okay. So we can at least put a pin on the map that we agree with a certain set of data or agree of a process.
I'm trying to look at an open mind. It's altogether possible. We gather all this information and I say I was wrong. I don't have a problem with that.
Hmm.
But what
I
I'm.
think bringing in like your, your
Would you,
like just a regular appraiser, you can't do that.
Well-
It's totally different than that. You'd have to bring in evaluation companies, because we do valuations. You can't just bring in appraisers. We don't go,
someone-
the state
Okay,
doesn't even look at those.
I don't know what to say other than, I
Yeah.
don't agree with you, I'm sorry.
I would be open to bring an appraiser in, but PK, and,
Absolutely, PK. Absolutely.
and-
That's important.
you know, I don't know.
And whatever
I'll talk to the
sales-
association and see what they
Yeah,
have for
see if they have,
ideas.
yeah. But the point is
I mean, I
just,
can bring maybe a couple of those guys in who are appraisers in
yeah,
doing both, and maybe I can bring probably the president of the association, and that might help, if you wanna do that. He can probably
Okay.
explain it to you a lot better than I can.
all right,
So, I mean, I think he's still
that would be
appraising,
great.
so.
And, anything else you'd like?
No. No. Not on this subject.
I'm supposed,
You got 2 more points, I know you.
yeah. where were they? Okay. Oh, that was to do with that, so,
So my agenda work?
it was an easier one.
Okay.
This is more, I guess, questions. And as regards to new construction additions, are we getting the as-bills from OpenGov before we go out to measure?
So I pull them, yes,
Good, okay.
yes. Yep, I always do, yeah.
Okay.
I just wanna go out there and just double check everything, that's all I'm doing. I have,
Well,
it's all
just-
drawn out, I just
It's
go
all
out.
drawn out, an
Yep.
engineer certified it.
No, I draw my own plan, I draw
No,
my own
we do,
sketch.
right,
yeah,
but what I'm
yeah.
saying is,
Yep.
we got the as-built that the engineer drew, now we go out with the tape measure, and we're just checking his numbers.
Yep.
Pretty much.
Yep.
Where we run the tape measure up and go, that ain't right, and we do it again.
Yeah, or a
Okay.
laser, I use a laser, but yes.
Oh, even better.
Yeah, I haven't used a tape measure in a long time.
So as-built, the other one, I think we kind of touched on it, is where we have new construction sales, and we send out the package, and they say, we don't want you to come in, for whatever reason.
Mhm.
I mean, it could be, we don't like you, we don't want you to come in, it could be, we're busy, we ain't got time for that, whatever reason.
Yep.
We can consult with the building inspector and say, what did you see?
Well, not really, because I don't rely on other departments for that. What I would do is, what's the sale price?
No,
Yeah.
sales price is sales price, but I'm saying
Right,
as far as,
But if I'm up, so let's back up for a
Yeah.
second. So I go out there, let's go with Lloyd Circle, because that's a new development going out there.
Mhm.
Right now, I have all those houses at good construction. I
Yeah.
don't really think they're much better
Right.
than that, right? And so, we have a couple of different ones out there, like I said, that one style has a bunch of different,
yeah,
upgrades to it. So if I go out there and I say, oh, it's good, but it's selling for 1.5 and all my other houses are only at 1.2, and it's the exact same house,
that's what I was getting at earlier, yes.
then I'm like, well, that's not good. That must have a lot of upgrades in it, and I'm gonna upgrade that one to like a very good. Because I have to bring it close to that sale price, because we have to be between state regulations, between 90 and 110% of the sale price.
Yeah.
So I have to bring that, I have to put that into like very good. I do have a
Right,
house out
right,
there like
and that's what I had touched on earlier. In
Yeah.
other words, we got the sale price,
Right.
we know what it's worth.
Yeah.
Now the question is, how does it compare to the other ones? Because when we input
Yeah.
the software,
See, it's easy over there because that's a development, so I can do that over there. But if it's just a house scattered about, that makes it more difficult because I don't know what's inside of that house,
right,
you know? And if we have it wrong, right, and I go out there and I'm like, oh God, no, I had
But
that too.
I
If I
guess-
have it too, let me just finish.
Yep.
If I have it too high and then I have to bring it down and then we, say if they file for an abatement, we have to abate it, then that's gonna
That's
come
what
off the
we
new,
don't
that's,
wanna do.
right, we
That's
don't
the-
wanna do that because what happens is now that's a negative
'cause
on our
that's-
budget for the
that's-
next year, that's come off.
actually what, that's what's behind most of my thoughts.
Yeah,
If we can appraise everything so we don't get abatement requests,
right,
that's where we
Right.
wanna be. Right?
exactly.
So I guess my question though is, so you've got one, they say would rather you don't come in, the one across the street is 1.2, this one's 1.5. At that point,
Same house, but you don't.
same house.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, maybe that point, the right thing to do is, Mr. Building Inspector, I got 1.2, 1.5, what did you see in there? Oh, let me tell you. You know what I mean? At least, then, when you make that assumption, at least you've got,
oh
he's
yeah,
saying.
and I've done that in the
Okay,
past, oh
okay.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
If I'm stumped on a house, I would definitely talk to the building department. I'm always in contact with them, we talk to
Okay.
each other all the time.
Excellent.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Told
I
you.
always verify things, I don't just.
Told you
do
that was an
things.
easy one.
No, we always wanna verify.
Okay, back to the hard one. So the other one was, what can we do to get better efficiency under 59-2A or chapter 653 of the Acts of 1989?
So
Because
that.
that's where
so
we
we're
got new
yeah.
growth.
Right, so chapter 653, this is if you rescind it. I think I did.
Rescinded?
Well, because
No.
you guys were talking about.
No, no, no,
Oh,
no,
okay, all right, I thought you were talking about rescinding
No.
it at the meeting.
No, and
So-
that's why, okay, when we adopted it, I think I probably spent 15 minutes at the microphone at town meeting doing everything I could to oppose it. A whole bunch of people did. They passed it, that's the way it is, and it's not up to us to decide whether we be in favor of it or we be against it. It's our job to administer it.
Mhm.
So, get that on
Yeah.
the table. So, yeah, so now, instead of January 1st, we've got 2 periods, is that
So we go up to June 30th.
correct?
Yep.
So January 1st, we do it, and we don't have to wait till January 1st. On June 30th, we say, what's out there, half done.
Right.
Rough way to say it.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Rough way to say it.
Yep.
So, one particular piece of property, on January 1st, it's a piece of raw land. On June 30th, there's a foundation and there's a frame up.
Correct.
Without this, we get nothing. With that, we get the
A portion.
reassess at that point, and we get the foundation in the frame or whatever.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
So, trying to figure out how do we do it the most efficient way we possibly can do it. In other words, we get the reassessment, but we don't put any more work into it than we have to.
What do you mean? I don't understand what you mean.
And what I'm trying to get at, and it might not be possible, but we've got things like, you had mentioned something about we've got percentages we assign,
Right.
and we can almost automate that with the data off of OpenGov. And only reason I'm saying that is we can look at a frame and say there's a whole house that's framed there, but until it's inspected and signed off, it's not there.
So with the valuation companies,
Mhm.
right, they have a chart
Mhm.
that we go by.
Yeah.
What is the percentage complete? So I think I put that in the email, like if it's a
Yeah,
foundation, it's
yeah.
5%.
You didn't have details, but.
Yeah, so there's a
but it-
whole chart to get us to
Yeah.
100%.
And we certainly don't want to argue about what the percentages are in the chart.
Yeah, so, and that's what we go by. So if I'm out there and I look at that chart, okay, I'm up to 40% complete, then the house is at 40% complete as of June 30th.
Right.
Right.
Okay, so these, like I said, I was looking for efficiency. These are basically just drive-bys.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I'll go, you know, if it's new construction, yeah, they're pretty much drive-bys because they're not done. I'll go take a picture of it, do a couple of measurements, make sure I get the measurements right, and then just estimate it by then, you know, by that chart that I have.
To your point, I think I get where you're going at. Is there a way that you could just affirm something with the building department?
I think we should
No, I have to go
say,
by that chart.
until that frame is inspected, it's not a frame yet. And like Jim
Well,
said,
that's,
you know, until
No.
that sign off is done, it's not a frame yet. So what if
Well-
they're still framing? How do you value a house that's half framed? Is it a full frame? Are we valuing a full frame if
it's a-
it's half frame?
If it's not fully framed, then I wouldn't frame it. If it's not complete, then it's not complete.
It's
The
not-
foundation's there, it's
It's not a
there.
full frame until it's been signed off. It could still be,
No, we don't have to go by sign-offs in the assessing department. If I go to a house
Oh, wait
and
a
you don't
minute.
have the
Wait a
CO,
minute. They
and
might
I,
help us.
what?
They might help us. Just, if the frame is signed off, then guaranteed plumbing, heating, and electrical are done.
Mhm.
So we can collect, I don't know if are those separate?
Yes.
So,
Usually
knowing
I
that-
do that.
if we go to OpenGov and the rough frame signed off, all those are done, guaranteed. Because they can't sign off till they're done.
But again,
But
we
again,
have to,
efficiency-wise, no, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but efficiency-wise, looking it up on OpenGov and driving by it,
we have to drive by it, that's our requirement.
okay.
well, then
I
again,
mean, that's, I mean,
to your point earlier, I'm sorry.
it's okay.
Your point earlier was that we have to acquiesce to an exterior inspection. You can't go in, right?
yeah, drive by, just don't come on
Right.
the job site.
Right.
And walk in.
Well, it depends. At the
Well-
end, we certainly can,
You can ask,
we
but,
can ask.
right, but so you, in a way, where's the best data gonna come from?
That's where it gets technical, because
Where's
like
the
we were
best
talking
data?
about, if you don't go in, the abatement's denied, which isn't true, you just lose the point of appeal. But then, like you just said, we can't go in. Yeah, we can, but we have to ask, we can ask.
Right,
And-
well, that's what I'm
and
saying.
According to what I'm reading, we're supposed to ask.
But what I'm saying is that the where's the best way to gather that accurate, most fair and accurate information?
Yeah,
That's what we're going at. And how do we do that?
Well, that would be me, because would you rely on somebody else if you're, you know, if you had a job and somebody said, oh the job's done, would you rely on somebody for that? I wouldn't rely on anybody for my own work. I mean, I have to sign
No,
off on all this,
I
so I'm not gonna rely on
I
the building
think you can rely
department.
on the building department
I'm
when,
not-
you know, when you said plans changed, and then at the last meeting we were at, you said you don't even know how to read plans.
I know how to read, that's not what I said.
No, you did say that.
No, I said I know how to read
And then-
plans. I
But
don't
the
go
building
in-
inspector does know how to read plans,
When
why
I
wouldn't
don't,
you reverse it?
what I don't do, I don't know how, I don't go into all the technical part of the building like you guys do. I look at what the dimensions are and what's on the first floor, second floor, is there a basement. I'm just looking at all the dimensions and what's there. I'm not looking at roof heights or all the beams, like, I don't care about that stuff. That doesn't matter to me. I need the dimensions, and I need to know how many rooms are in that house, how many bathrooms, how many
You need
bedrooms. That's what I'm looking at.
the
I'm not looking at
basement
all the
plan,
building stuff. I don't care about that
Basement
stuff.
plan, first floor, second floor, and show me a picture.
Basically, yeah, and so that's what I'm
Not,
looking at.
not
I'm
to
just-
denigrate what you're doing, I'm just saying.
Kind of like that, and I just want the dimensions, because I have to draw it out, and I have to get it into the system. But like I said, I'm not looking at the beams, I'm not looking at like
Correct.
all the different things that you guys look at. That's what I was talking about, reading plans. I don't care where the electrical is, I don't care where the plumbing is, like, none of that matters to me. I just need to know what the dimensions are, how big the house is, and what's inside of it.
But one thing we might be able to take advantage of, if we just drive by and we see the frames up, if we look on OpenGov and it's signed off, now we know that all the systems are done too. And we can put it on.
I can usually tell that when I'm there, honestly. When I'm at the house, I have to measure it anyway. If the frame is up, I have to measure it, so I can tell. If I'm there and there's a door open, oh, it's only studded, nothing else is done. And there is
Fair enough.
studded, you know? I don't do the electrical and all that until the walls are up. That's when I consider that stuff.
Okay.
You know, I don't,
Yeah, yeah, I'm-
You?
Yeah, as long as you're not walking in.
Okay.
well, like I said, my goal was just to talk about efficiency, and I'm
we're
not
pretty,
seeing anything that.
yeah, I mean, honestly, we're pretty efficient with what we do.
I think it's easier to
I'll be the
just sign
judge.
into the portal,
Okay.
open.gov, sign into the portal and look, see where the inspection phase is, and ask the inspector, then jump in the car and drive around, but.
But are you saying like, you know, you said the electrical, plumbing, and the mechanicals?
Yeah, you can't get a sign off for a rough frame
So-
until those are signed off.
So signed off for approval?
They have to be done.
Right. You mean completed?
Yo, yeah, the rough has to be completed. Because you frame a house,
Right,
now the plumber goes in and drills holes.
right.
Well, the inspector will not come out until the plumbing is done and the electrical's done, because he has to come out to make sure you didn't drill a bunch of holes in places that are gonna hurt
Right.
the structure. So it was just a possible thing we could use as a tool to know they're done, but like you're saying, if you're gonna measure it,
If I go out there and I can't figure it out, then I would go to the building
Yeah.
department.
and it makes sense to measure it at that point, because you gotta develop the property card.
Exactly,
And without that,
right,
You
and
got
I
nothing.
can't develop the property card.
Right.
Exactly, that's exactly what we do.
Okay. So, last point, Jim? Any-
that was it.
That was it?
That was it.
Oh, okay, very good. Lucas, you have any final thoughts?
See, I had a hard one, an easy one, and a hard one that I gave up on.
All right.
Is that fair?
Fair.
Okay.
Fair to
All
me.
right, so, I think we came and agreed to some things to move forward, and,
I think you're on board, Senator.
when do we want to have our next meeting?
We do need to have one in July because today's the 30th, but tomorrow we have to start running the monthly reports.
Okay.
It'll be a quick one, really just for the motor vehicle, I think that's all we're gonna have.
Okay, I'm gonna be away most of July, but for a quick one, I'm sure I can figure it out, because that's what I'm supposed to do. I signed up, I gotta do it.
So,
The only issue would be
I'm around
between the
July.
12th and the 19th,
Okay.
because that would be like 6 or 7 hour drive to get here.
So the later in the month would be better for you?
Does that work better for you, later in the month?
yeah, it doesn't matter to me.
Okay, so I take it the first week of the month, doesn't do any good at
Yeah,
all.
that's- yeah.
So
that was-
let's say, would that be like July 20? Do you prefer Tuesdays and Wednesdays? Tuesdays?
Oh,
would be-
Tuesday's a good day, yeah.
Okay, that's still good with you?
Yep.
Okay.
21st, when did you say?
Well, we got Tuesdays, so let's try Would you prefer, Denise, are you good for Tuesdays still?
I can't do the 14th, but I can do the 21st, if you want to do it later in the month, or,
Yeah, are you all right with the 21st or 28th?
Yeah, because I can't do the 14th either, so.
All right, so 21st is good?
Yep, let's
All
do
right.
that.
You?
Yep,
and if it changes, just let me know.
Yeah, we can always do it the 28th, but 21st will be the goal.
28th. Oh, 28th works also, yeah.
Yeah, right. So let's plan for the 21st, and if not, you're still up north, and,
No, I'm,
all right, 28th, all right, 21st.
yeah.
5:30 still the time for you? Would you like it
Yep.
earlier or
No,
later?
that's
Yeah.
fine.
5:30 is convenient?
Yep.
All right.
19th is Rumford, Maine, and then the following week, Friday I'm in Hingham, Saturday I'm in Douglas, Sunday Bridgewater, and then the following week is Norwich and New York, or some stupid place.
Okay, all right, so let's do that. In the meantime, my task is to get that 858 at 6 Todd Drive done this week. I will notify both of you when
One of
it's
the
done
canvases,
and
I didn't
complete.
steal it.
Yep.
And it'll
I
be
bring one just in
exactly
case.
as we had said. So with all that, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I
Do I have a
can't do
second?
that, but I will.
All right,
Doesn't need a second.
make a motion?
Adjourn.
Okay, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. 7:16.